The vast chamber of the Galactic Summit, a structure older than most star systems, hung suspended in the void like a spider's web of silver filaments. Gravity stabilizers hummed like lazy bees beneath the polished obsidian floor, holding the diverse dignitaries aloft in their floating platforms, each drifting with its own curious grace. Holographic banners, each an alien script of fractal symbols and shifting hues, flickered in the charged air. A hush deeper than the black between stars had settled over the gathering, like a gravity well no one dared escape. At the center of the chamber, beneath the glare of an artificial nova suspended high above, stood the enigmatic warrior woman from the Lothara, a race as feared as they were revered, known for their unmatched combat prowess and philosophy that could outwit even the slyest traders of Rigel. She was tall, her posture a study in coiled potential. Silver hair cascaded down her back like liquid metal, catching the nova's light in rippling patterns. Her ears, long and delicately curved, framed her face like the wings of an ancient moth. She wore armor that seemed to breathe with her, organic, alive, its shifting plates whispering like sand under a desert wind. The delegates watched her with the wary reverence one might afford a supernova on the horizon. Her violet eyes scanned the room with measured calm, her expression unreadable as a star map from an extinct civilization. No one dared to speak. Even the translator drones fell silent, their lenses dimmed in anticipation. A tension built in the air, heavy enough to warp time itself. That was when the human arrived. He stumbled through the chamber doors, juggling a tray of drinks that looked suspiciously radioactive. His uniform was wrinkled like a deflated escape pod, and his hair was arranged in what could generously be called chaotic orbit. A badge pinned askew identified him as Corbin Jenkins, assistant translator, temporary. With a cheerful grin that defied the solemnity of the moment, he caught the warrior's eye and blurted, "Hey, cute girl." The chamber seemed to implode in collective shock. Gasps echoed from every quadrant. A crystalline being shattered a wine glass in surprise. A gaseous delegate hissed, releasing a cloud of violet mist. Corbin blinked, momentarily uncertain whether he'd said something diplomatically questionable or perhaps threatened the entire galaxy with accidental treason. The Lothara woman's gaze locked on his, sharp as a particle lance. For a moment the universe itself paused, holding its cosmic breath. Then her lips curved, just slightly, revealing teeth like polished meteorites. "You amuse me," she said, her voice a melodic ripple of cosmic winds. Corbin's grin widened. "Well, I'm glad someone's amused. I was starting to think the whole summit was one big funeral." A ripple of laughter, a cautious, uncertain thing, spread through the delegates. Even the robotic scribes clicked their gears in hesitant amusement. The tension began to dissolve like ice in a solar flare. Corbin, emboldened, stepped forward, nearly tripping over his own boots. "You know, I've read about you, Lothara. Masters of philosophy and swordplay. I bet you could slice a neutron star in half and still find time to ponder the meaning of existence." Her laughter, light and surprisingly human, rang out across the chamber. "You are unusual," she said. "I think I shall keep you." Corbin's eyebrows shot up. Keep me? Like, as a pet? Or more like a co-pilot?" The warrior's smile widened. "We shall see." A hush fell again, but this time it was laced with something new. A sense of anticipation, as though the galaxy itself was leaning in, eager to see what would come next. And in that moment, with a single reckless compliment and a grin, Corbin Jenkins, assistant translator, temporary, had altered the course of the universe. Corbin's grin faltered as the laughter faded into an uneasy silence, the kind that only exists on the edge of a supernova's event horizon. The delegates, a tapestry of bioluminescent tentacles, crystalline wings and gaseous wisps, exchanged uneasy glances, their translator drones whirring to recalibrate the sudden shift in tone. Even the air recyclers seemed to hold their breath. The Lothara woman, Saris Tharn, though her name had yet to be spoken aloud, stepped closer, her organic armor shifting with a faint hiss, like steam escaping a dying star. Her long ears twitched as though tasting the currents of conversation. She studied Corbin with an intensity that made the void outside seem warm and inviting. "You are either the bravest human I have met," she said, her voice a melody of comets and dark matter, or the most foolish? Corbin swallowed hard. Can I choose both? Because I'm definitely feeling like a cosmic-level idiot right now. Her laughter, smooth, crystalline, and surprisingly contagious, rippled through the chamber. A gaseous delegate let out a gurgle that might have been a chuckle. The crystalline being tapped one gleaming limb in applause. Even the robotic scribes emitted a polite whir of approval, as though their circuits appreciated the break in tension. But just as Corbin was about to breathe easy, a klaxon wailed, a sound that needed no translation. Red warning glyphs spun into existence around the chamber's perimeter, glowing like dying suns. A holographic display bloomed in the air, showing a rising energy signature beneath the floor, coiling like a serpent of plasma. Ah, that's probably bad, Corbin muttered, raising an eyebrow. Saris's long ears twitched, eyes narrowing as she regarded the display. The summit's ancient defense grid. It was built to prevent assassinations. Unfortunately, its designers lacked a sense of humor. A ripple of nervous laughter spread through the chamber, punctuated by a few coughs and the squeal of a diplomat from Andromeda 7 attempting to hide behind its own tentacles. Corbin tried to process what she'd just said, but his brain felt like it had been spun in a centrifuge. So you're saying that because I made a joke? It thinks we're under attack? Essentially, she replied, eyes dancing with cosmic amusement. The grid's primitive, I interpret sudden emotional spikes as a threat response. Humor is an anomaly it cannot parse. Great, Corbin sighed. The fate of the galaxy, brought down by an overcautious security system with no sense of comedy? Saris leaned closer, her breath warm and oddly comforting in the charged air. It will stabilize in approximately 4 minutes, if no additional threats are detected. Until then, we must keep the system calm. Corbin blinked. Calm? How do you calm a defense grid? Saris's violet eyes sparkled mischievously. We talk. Slowly. Politely. No jokes. Corbin's grin vanished. I'm doomed. Delegates shifted nervously, some muttering prayers to deities that probably wouldn't accept calls from this sector. A crystalline diplomat tried to hum, but only produced a sound like glass under stress. Corbin cleared his throat. So, beautiful weather we're having, right? Saris's grin widened. Indeed. The simulated nova is particularly luminous today. Corbin glanced at the holographic sun above them, now pulsing like a disco star having a meltdown. Yeah, super. Luminous. As the seconds ticked by, Corbin's every instinct screamed to crack another joke, but he clamped his mouth shut so tightly his teeth squeaked. The defense grid's humming softened, its glow fading from crimson to a cautious orange. Saris placed a delicate hand on his shoulder. You're doing well, human. Just a few more minutes of absolute boredom, and the galaxy may yet survive. Corbin sighed dramatically, drawing another faint chuckle from the delegates. I've always wanted to be a hero, he muttered, but I thought it'd involve less awkward small talk. Saris's laughter sparkled through the chamber like cosmic stardust. Welcome to diplomacy. The defense grid's humming subsided at last, its crimson glow fading to a gentle pulse of soft blue. The tension in the Galactic Summit chamber loosened like a taut solar sail released to the cosmic wind. Delegates began to exhale, cautiously at first, like creatures emerging from beneath planetary ice after a 1,000-year winter. Corbin flexed his jaw, the muscles sore from clenching his mouth shut for so long. Well, he exhaled, I guess small talk really does save the galaxy. Saris Tharn regarded him with those luminous violet eyes, her long ears tilted in amusement. You have a talent for improbable solutions, human. He shrugged, his uniform still stained with the suspiciously glowing drink from earlier. Hey, my mother always said I'd make an impression one way or another. Usually it involves something exploding. A ripple of cautious laughter spread among the delegates, some a delicate chime of crystal, others a low hum like a star engine idling in the distance. Even the most stoic members of the Andromeda Council dared a slight smile. But the moment's levity evaporated as the chamber lights flickered. A holographic screen bloomed from the floor, painting the air with an urgent display of shifting symbols and a 3D rendering of the chamber's substructure. Saris's grin faded as she leaned closer to study the projections. That, she said, her voice low as an event horizon, is a quantum energy surge. The defense grid may have been pacified, but something else is awake below. Corbin peered at the hologram, brow furrowed. Something else? Like a very large space hamster? Saris's eyes glittered with both amusement and concern. More like an ancient failsafe, designed by the summit's founders. A superweapon, programmed to detonate if the grid couldn't handle an internal threat. Corbin's stomach did a zero-gravity somersault. A superweapon? Seriously? That seems overkill. Diplomacy is often built on overkill, she replied dryly. We have approximately 10 minutes to shut it down. A ripple of panic began to spread through the chamber. One reptilian delegate scuttled in circles, babbling in a dialect that even the translation drones gave up on. Another dissolved into a puddle of bioluminescent goo, trying to disappear into the floor. Corbin held up his hands. Okay, everyone. Let's not lose our antimatter marbles. He glanced at Saris, his grin forced but determined. Tell me there's an off switch. She gave a wry smile. The failsafe requires a dual input code, one from a Lithara, one from a human. Dual input code, Corbin repeated. Like a cosmic buddy system? Exactly, she replied, the corners of her lips quirking upward. And you, human, have volunteered. He let out a shaky laugh. Did I sign something? Because I think I missed the fine print. Her smile turned feral. Consider it an honor. They stepped forward together, the crowd parting like a nebula's dust before a solar wind. The floor shimmered, revealing a console that looked suspiciously like the love child of an ancient starship dashboard and a minimalist art exhibit. Saris placed her hand on a glowing panel, her armor whispering in response. Follow my lead, Corbin. He exhaled, fingers trembling as he mirrored her action. The console pulsed, symbols spiraling like dying suns. Saris's voice dropped to a near whisper. Remember, no jokes. This is a serious matter. Corbin's grin returned, defiant. Oh, I'm definitely serious. Seriously terrified. The console's hum deepened, the chamber vibrating like a neutron star in the throes of collapse. Symbols aligned, colors shifting in a dance of possibility. Corbin felt the weight of 1,000 star systems pressing on his chest. Then, click. A final pulse of energy surged through the console and dissipated. The holographic screen turned a cool, tranquil green. Silence. Saris exhaled, her long ears relaxing at last. You did it. Corbin's grin stretched from one ear to the other. Hey, no problem. Just saving the galaxy. Again. A hush settled over the chamber, as if the entire summit had been momentarily ejected into the vacuum of space, all noise drawn out by the gravity of relief. Delegates dared to breathe, their bioluminescent skin, iridescent scales, or chrome-hued shells gleaming under the artificial nova that hung like a pale star above. The defense grid's hum had faded, and the superweapon's threat, at least for now, had been defused. Corbin's grin looked too wide for his face, like a starburst stretching beyond its own gravitational pull. Well, he panted, wiping sweat from his forehead with a sleeve that probably hadn't been washed since last Tuesday. That was fun. Do all diplomatic summits come with the risk of galactic annihilation, or is this just the deluxe package? A smattering of laughter bubbled through the chamber, a hesitant sound at first, like a young sun testing its fusion. Even the Andromeda Council's gaseous representative managed a cloud-like giggle. Saris Tharn turned toward Corbin, her long ears curling forward in a way that suggested both amusement and curiosity. Human, you have an uncanny ability to find humor in situations that would reduce most sentience to quivering plasma. Corbin shrugged, his uniform, still bearing the neon drink stains, somehow giving him the look of a hapless hero. Hey, when the galaxy's about to implode, might as well go out with a smile, right? Saris's laughter, smooth as molten silver, rolled across the chamber, catching even the most stoic of delegates off guard. Perhaps there is merit in your approach, she mused, her eyes bright as twin quasars. In times of crisis, humor may be the only shield we have. A ripple of agreement passed through the chamber, like a wave through a stellar nursery. Delegates exchanged glances, some amused, others curious, all considering the wisdom of this unlikely human. Even the ancient robotic scribes paused their incessant whirring to record the moment, their photonic eyes flickering like dying stars. A crystalline ambassador floated forward on a cushion of anti-grav jets. "Human," it intoned, its voice a shimmering cord of glass and static. "You have diffused not only the weapon, but also the tension that threatened to fracture this summit. Perhaps we underestimated your kind." Corbin blinked, then smirked. "Well, I'm always happy to be the galaxy's comic relief." Saris's grin turned sly, the tips of her long ears angling forward with conspiratorial delight. "Careful, human. In the Lothara, such a role often comes with unexpected responsibilities." Corbin felt a cold sweat trickle down his back. "Responsibilities? Like ceremonial tea service? Because I make a mean cup of Terran coffee." Her laughter, bright as stardust, rippled through the chamber. "No, human. More like honor companion, a partner in negotiation and battle alike." Corbin's jaw dropped. "Wait, what? Like a sidekick?" "Like a co-captain," Saris corrected, her eyes twinkling. "Or a cosmic jester, perhaps. But one with a seat at the table." A stunned silence fell over the delegates, as though the entire galaxy had paused to update its status. Even the gaseous delegate released a sigh of what might have been admiration. Corbin gulped, suddenly aware that his life had shifted on an axis as ancient as the stars. "Well," he stammered, "I guess I always wanted a promotion." Saris extended a hand, her organic armor shifting to reveal delicate fingers. "Then welcome, Corbin Jenkins of Terra. The galaxy awaits your wit and your wisdom." He took her hand, feeling the warm pulse of alien technology under her skin. A sense of cosmic responsibility settled on his shoulders like a new, slightly too large uniform. "Guess it's time to save the galaxy." "Again," he quipped, grinning at the absurdity of it all. And somewhere beyond the chamber walls, 1,000 stars seemed to wink in agreement. Corbin Jenkins stood on the balcony of the Galactic Summit Hall, staring out at the swirling mass of nebulae and stars beyond the transparent shield. The afterglow of 1,000 different civilizations pulsed like the heartbeat of a living galaxy. Each star system a story waiting to be told, or in his case, a joke waiting to be cracked. He'd spent the last few hours, no, days, at Saris Tharn's side, learning more about the Lothara than most humans could dream. They'd shared ceremonial meals where the food glowed brighter than any Terran firefly, recited ancient codes of honor that sounded suspiciously like song lyrics from a forgotten rock band, and debated philosophies that could break even the strongest AI. Yet somewhere along the line, Corbin had stopped feeling like a clueless outsider and started feeling like, well, maybe not a hero, but at least someone who'd earned a seat at the cosmic table. Sarah stepped up beside him, her armor shedding the last of its formal rigidity to reveal a softer, more organic texture, like a living tapestry woven from stardust. Her long ears flicked in the artificial breeze, a subtle sign of relaxation. "You've adapted well, human," she said, her voice a soothing melody. "Your humor has proven disarming." He smirked. "Disarming? That's one way to put it. I've also nearly disarmed myself, at least twice." Her laugh, warm as a dying star's final glow, made him feel lighter than zero gravity. "And yet, you've done more than most seasoned negotiators. You saved the summit, and perhaps the galaxy itself." He ducked his head, embarrassed. "Well, I had a little help." He nodded toward the other delegates, now engaged in cautious discussions rather than heated arguments. Even the crystalline ambassador had adopted a friendlier hue. Turns out everyone needed a good laugh, and maybe a reminder that even the worst defense grid can be reasoned with. Saris's violet eyes softened, her long ears lowering with what he'd learned was a sign of affection, or at least cosmic approval. "You've taught us that sometimes the most powerful weapon isn't a blade or a bomb, but a well-timed joke." Corbin chuckled. "Guess I'm a stand-up comedian in a galaxy of starships and plasma cannons." She tilted her head, studying him with a mixture of curiosity and admiration. "And now, as my honor companion, you'll have the opportunity to continue that work, across countless worlds." He blinked. Wait, honor companion? That's still happening? Saris's grin widened, sharp as a comet's tail. Indeed, the Lothara take their oaths seriously. You saved the galaxy with laughter, and now you must help us build bridges with other species. Corbin let out a slow breath, the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders like a starship's landing pad. But this time, it didn't feel like too much. He'd grown. He'd learned that sometimes laughter could unite even the most unlikely allies, and that even the galaxy's biggest problems could be faced one joke at a time. He squared his shoulders and offered a lopsided grin. All right then, Captain Tharn, let's get to work. Her laughter joined his, echoing through the chamber like the pulse of a dying star reborn in laughter. Above them, the artificial nova dimmed to a gentle twilight, casting the summit hall in a warm glow. The delegates dispersed, their voices softer now, hopeful even. Corbin knew there would be more summits, more threats, more tense moments that demanded humor and humanity. But he also knew he wouldn't face them alone. As the last echoes of laughter faded, he reached out and took Saris's hand. Together they looked out into the galaxy, at a future that now seemed a little brighter, a little funnier, and a lot more human.